Welcome to Crime Files TikTok Compilations, the vault of real horror, where murder isn't fiction and the footage never lies. In this collection, we unearth chilling clips, haunting case files, and real-life moments that expose the darkest corners of the human mind. What you're about to witness is raw, unsettling, and unforgettable. These aren't stories, they're warnings.
These are active serial killers who haven't been caught yet, part 1. Up first is the I-70 killer. The I-70 killer is an unidentified American man who killed 6 store clerks across the Midwest in 1992. Victims were typically young women who were petite and brunette. The one male victim had long brown hair which he often wore in a ponytail, so it is theorized that this killer mistook him for a woman from a distance. Also, the I-70 killer is suspected to be behind 2 more murders in 1993, an attempted murder in 1994, and 1 more in 2001. His only surviving victim is 35-year-old Vicky Webb. She briefly talked to him before he shot her, but he just left her there for dead, and the bullet didn't properly penetrate her and she survived. Next up is the Long Island serial killer, also known as the Craigslist Ripper. This person is believed to be active from 1996 to 2010. Authorities came to this conclusion after 10 bodies were found on the Long Island coast between 2010 and 2011. There are 8 other potential victims, some of whom have never been identified. Most of the victims were known to sell adult services on Craigslist, and several people have been suspected of being the Long Island serial killer, like this man, John Bitrolf. He has been charged with 2 confirmed murders, but is suspected for another 15 to 20, making him the #1 suspect of being the Long Island serial killer.
Well, I'm a serial killer. I've killed 8 women, 6 in this state and 2 in New York. I'm not a big serial killer, by the way. 8 people, that's nothing. I mean, there's a lot of other guys you can go see. I saw this woman walking along the road with a stroller. I pulled off the side of the road. She came into the driveway, walked up the driveway. I was behind the house. She saw me and I grabbed her. I told her that if she didn't do what I wanted, that I would smash the baby's head against the wall of the house. Where I think that's important is I've always said that I never understood why the women never really resisted me. I'm not a big, strong guy. Nobody ever seemed to fight. And I've always attributed to that I must say something like that, similar to the other victims. I raped her, strangled her, I left her for dead. The only reason she's not dead is has nothing to do with me. Right? So, when I attacked her, I don't believe I was in control. I don't think I could have stopped. Reason I say that is because there's a very clear point to me after she was dead when I was feeling, well, I didn't really feel anything. I mean, I knew what was going on, and I saw what was going on, but it was more like watching an old film that we used to see as kids in the high school, in elementary school, and they've been played so many times, they're all spliced, and it'd be going along and then jump. You would think that if you killed somebody, that you would have that face imprinted in your mind, and that you wouldn't be able to get it out of your mind. I don't have that. I never had that. The only face that I can see is what was in the newspapers a few days later when they were missing, like the high school pictures, anybody know where this girl is type thing. That's, when I think of them, that's the picture I see. I don't see them as they were when I killed them. I can't see them as I was killing them. When I say I don't have any remorse, that doesn't mean that I don't have any regrets, that I don't wish that didn't happen, that there was something I could do to bring them back or anything. It's just that I don't have any feelings towards them. I feel like I should be tormented by what they looked like when I was killing them, or tormented by what was happening immediately before I killed them and stuff. And none of that's there. None of that's there at all.
Yet it does seem that Ross felt remorse for at least one of his 9 victims. In an interview with true crime author Christopher Berry Day, he talked about 14-year-old Leslie Shelley, who was tragically murdered alongside her best friend, April Brunias.
They were dead as soon as I saw them, I think. I picked them up. They wanted me to drop them off at a gas station. I drove right by the gas station. Anyway, took him to a place, tied him up with some cloth that I had in the back seat. I put the younger girl, Leslie Shelley, into the trunk of the car, and I took the other girl, April Bernay, out, and I raped her and killed her, and I put her in the front seat. Well, the smallest one, Leslie Shelley, has always bothered me more than the others. I think it was because she was so small. I think it was because she was so cooperative, and I think it was because the way she was killed was so close to the fantasies. That was the one that was, it was like it was a fantasy. I'm not like that now. I'm just...
In 1999, a 10-year-old girl woke to the sound of her friend screaming. Groggy and disoriented, she lifted her head, only to see a shadowy figure looming over her friend, a knife pressed to the girl's throat. Before she could process what was happening, the blade flashed and her friend went silent. The man, satisfied with his work, turned to leave. But then he hesitated. A quick glance back at the room, and his eyes locked onto hers. In an instant, he lunged at her, the cold steel slicing across her throat. Convinced he had finished the job, the man vanished into the night. But he had made a terrible mistake. Clutching her throat, the girl forced herself to move. Stumbling through the house, she made it outside, her vision swimming. She reached another home and banged on the door with all the strength she had left. She tried to scream, to beg for help, but no sound came. Her vocal cords had been severed. When the door finally opened, the horrified resident wasted no time calling 911. Once recovered, she worked with the police to create a sketch, one that would ultimately lead to the capture of Tommy Lynn Sells, the ruthless serial killer known as the Coast to Coast Killer. His reign of terror ended in a Texas courtroom, where he was sentenced to
The reporter who recorded that video, Kim Dong-chul, was arrested in North Korea after that thing went viral, and he was sentenced to 10 years of hard labor for espionage. And the girl in the video was allegedly found dead a few weeks afterwards, around October 20th, 2010. So Kim was the reporter who actually filmed that interaction on a hidden camera. Obviously, videos from inside North Korea are completely censored. There's almost nothing that shows us the reality of life inside the dictatorship. But this soot-covered woman told Kim that she was working in the fields trying to gather grass to feed rabbits. She also discussed with the reporter that she had lost her home recently, and that she had also lost both of her parents and was living on the streets. She also went on to describe the horrific conditions inside of her home country. And this was shocking for the world to see because everybody knew that this is what was happening in North Korea, but I don't think up until this point people had visually seen what was happening. Somehow Kim managed to sneak the footage out of North Korea, but like I said, he was eventually arrested and sentenced to 10 years of hard labor, in part because of this video. And this was widely published across the internet. I'm actually going to play the rest of it for you now. It's really hard to watch stuff.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, or if it's your first time watching my videos, hi.
This YouTuber made this video after unaliving her 3-year-old daughter. Guys, her name is Claudia Alicia Hernandez, and on September 24, 2021, she dialed 911 and told the operator that her 3-year-old daughter was unresponsive. And when police got there, they made a gruesome discovery. They discovered the body of her daughter, Adelia Proctor, laying on the floor unconscious with bruises on her neck. Police then rushed the little girl to the hospital, but she sadly passed away just 45 minutes later. Police then started an investigation and uncovered something that sent chills down my my spine. It turns out that the mother, along with her brother and father, believed that the child was possessed. They assumed this because the little girl kept having nightmares in the middle of the night. And on the day of September 24, they all took Aurelia to a church in San Jose and performed a 12-hour exorcism. The little girl was tied up in a chair, and the trio stuck their fingers down the little girl's throat so she can throw up and release the demons. And guys, when this didn't work, they each took turns strangling the little girl. And after 8 to 10 hours of abuse, the little girl passed out. The mother then waited an hour, hour before finally calling the police for help. Police initially didn't arrest the mother as they didn't have sufficient evidence. And just a couple days after her child died, Claudia made a YouTube video where she can be seen laughing throughout parts of the video. She also said that she had no regrets for what happened to her daughter. And just weeks later, Claudia Hernandez, along with her brother and father, were arrested and charged with the little girl's murder. If they're found guilty, they might serve 25 years to life in prison. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
This will make your hair stand straight up. Ted Bundy, among a few other notorious psychopaths, are quoted to have said that they could pick their victims just based on how they walked. Ted Bundy once said, and I quote, "I could tell a victim by how she walked down the street, the tilt of her head, the way that she carried herself." Scientific studies have proven that people with high levels of antisocial or psychopathic personality traits are more perceptive than the average person toward body language and can pick up on cues that most of us miss. This is a predatory skill that they develop so that they can pick out who's vulnerable, who's weak, who won't fight back, who could possibly be a victim. And that got me thinking, as a woman, how do I carry myself when I'm out in the world? Do I carry myself in a way that looks defeated, scared, nervous, or do I carry myself in a way that says, I dare you? So I thought I'd give you a few visual examples of what could be interpreted as victim body language and how you can remedy that to look more like somebody that a man wouldn't want to mess with. So the first example of body language that could be interpreted by a predator as weak or as a potential victim would be just simply how you stand. So if you're standing on one hip like this and your head's kind of down, your feet are not firmly planted, you could be easily knocked off balance. So stand with your feet planted whenever you're standing at a shopping mall or if you're in line at the checkout. Hold yourself with some purpose. Keep your feet planted and let people know just non-verbally, I am aware of my surroundings, my feet are on the ground, you can't knock me off balance, you can't jerk me around, my hips and my feet aren't going anywhere. Another prime example is how you walk. If you're leaving a supermarket or you're walking to your car, how are you presenting yourself to the world that is observing you? Do you have your shoulders forward? Do you have your phone in your hand? Is your head down? Do you have earbuds in where you can't hear what's going on around you? And again, are you standing maybe like this where you're off balance, your hips and your feet are not planted? How are you walking? Look at this versus this. Walk like you've got somewhere to be. Keep your head up, keep your eyes open, keep your head moving to where you can express to people that are observing your body language that I am aware of my surroundings. If somebody's over there, I see you. I see you. Walk with purpose, stand with purpose, be mindful of how you are presenting yourself to the world around you.
Elliot Rodger was an English vlogger known for creating videos in his car, often telling of his depression for not being able to attract girls and how life was unfair. In most of his videos, Elliot displayed narcissistic tendencies by expressing his confusion and why girls don't pay him any mind despite his self-described good looks, good personality, nice car, and sense of fashion.
I've been attending college in Santa Barbara for about 2.5 years now. And in those 2.5 years, I've experienced nothing but loneliness and misery. And my problem is girls. There are so many beautiful girls here, but none of them give me a chance, and I don't know why. I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. It doesn't make sense. I do everything I can to appear attractive to you. I dress nice. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent. I have a nice car. A BMW. Well, it's nicer than 90% of the people in my college. You know, I'm polite. I'm the ultimate gentleman. And yet, you girls, you never give me a chance. I don't know why.
On May 23, 2014, Elliot uploaded a video to his YouTube channel. once again complaining about how females would throw themselves at obnoxious men over himself, and that they would be punished for not showing him interest.
I bet you ain't seen that episode of Dateline called Plot Twist where an Army veteran had a female found unalived in his bed, so they automatically accused him. He wound up going missing. Whole time, he was already unalived. It's a lot of twists and turns. Come on, let me break it down for you. This is 26-year-old Sam Hur, who was accused of unaliving Julie. This is Julie, who was found unalived in Sam's bed. So long story short, Sam was an Army veteran that came back from deployment. He had about like 60 racks saved up, and he had started going to college because he wanted to better himself. Julie was his homegirl that was in some of his classes and stuff because he wasn't doing too good, so she would help tutor him. They grew close because Sam was like a big gentle giant, and she saw him more like a big brother, little sister type relationship. So on May 21st, 2010, Julie was out with her brother Taka, and he was planning his wedding. That's when he asked Julie, like, yo, I want you to be a bridesmaid, gave her a little tiara to wear. Whole time while Julie was out with her brother, Sam was blowing her phone up like, yo, I need you to come over, I'm in distress, I'm having family issues, yada yada woo woo. Julie, being the nice person she is, she go over there. Next thing you know, she got 2 pops in the back of her head. So the next day, Julie mama calling and texting her like, yo, what's up, where you at? Because it was her little sister prom day. Nobody had heard from Julie. Whole time, Sam daddy hitting him up like, yo, where you at? Like, what's going on? Sam's friends even became worried because he was supposed to go to a beach party with one of them. So Sam daddy wound up sliding to his crib, opened up his apartment, started looking around for Sam, wound up finding Julie in the bed unalived. He went crazy. So he wound up calling the police, going crazy like, yo, it's this girl in my son's bed, she unalived, like, and I don't know where my son is. The police like, what you mean you don't know where your son is if he got an unalived girl in his bed? So this is where everything started getting a little tricky. I hope y'all can follow this. So Julie's phone was at Sam's house, and they was looking through the text messages where he was asking her to come over. Whole time, everybody's still looking for Sam because they don't know where he at. So they questioning Sam's friends and family and everything. Nobody basically has any clues except one of his neighbors. And it's a couple called Dan Wozniak and Rachel Buffett. They wound up saying they saw Sam on Friday with a dude in a black hat. So police started doing their little investigation work and everything. Started tracking Sam's debit cards and all of that good stuff. They started seeing large withdrawals of money coming out. So they like, oh, he on the run. It was like 17 withdrawals for like $400 each. You know what I'm saying? Every single day. And again, he had that 60 racks. So police wound up finding the footage on the security camera from the bank. And it was not Sam withdrawing that money. Go to my YouTube for the rest of the story. Say it ain't so, KO.
My grandpa is the motherfucking Zodiac killer, and this is not clickbait, so please, I need the power of the internet to share this, bookmark it, and blow my comment section up. I want to start off by saying this is not just based off physical appearance. I typed in my grandpa's name on Google the other day, and to my fucking surprise, internet sleuths have been throwing my grandpa's name around for years, connecting him as the Zodiac motherfucking killer. As you can see here in all these pictures on the screen somewhere, that it looks exactly like my grandpa. Let's talk about it. My grandpa was a Vallejo police officer. Yes, the same area where the Zodiac killer's fucking killings took place. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Darlene Sharon murder. Let me tell you, this is not in any order, but the more evidence I give you, you are going to be convinced that my grandpa is in fact the Zodiac killer. Darlene Farron and her boyfriend Mike or Matt, forgot the fucking guy's name, were driving around Vallejo one night, the night that my grandfather happened to be on duty, driving an unmarked police car and wearing plain clothes. Mike, who ended up surviving the shooting, said that they were being followed around by this car all night in Vallejo before they pulled into Blue Rock Springs. They said when they parked, the car pulled in, a man hopped out of the car, and Darlene, the girl who passed away, said, "Oh my God, that's Richard. He's gonna kill us both." Apparently, she was dating a police officer in Vallejo behind her husband's back. She was apparently a thotty. Rest in peace, Darlene Farron. So this guy in her passenger seat is one of her many boyfriends. And it was well known by her friend group that she was dating a Vallejo cop, although she never told them the name. She had a painting party at her house a few weeks before her murder, and it was said that my grandfather, Richard Hoffman, showed up uninvited, and she told her circle of friends that she is scared to death of him, and he was not invited there. My grandpa denies these claims. He says he never laid eyes on her, but then later goes on to say, I know that she worked at a restaurant locally here in Vallejo. How the fuck have you never laid eyes on her, Grandpa? You tell me about that. Let's move forward. As Mike said, right before they got shot, she said, that's Richard, he's gonna kill us both. My grandpa's name is fucking Richard Hoffman. Now let's talk about something else that I thought was really weird. In a letter that the Zodiac wrote, and my grandpa's police reports, and also this poem that I'm gonna talk about later, my grandpa spells the word until wrong. He spells it wrong. He puts 2 L's at the end. Where in multiple letters of the Zodiac wrote, he also spells until with 2 L's at the motherfucking end. Well, let's talk about the Sherry Bates murder that took place a couple years before the Darlene Ferrin murder. She was in a library doing her homework. She had just moved from Nebraska. Nebraska, why do I mention that? Because my grandpa lived in Nebraska. My mother, biological mother, was born in Nebraska. My grandpa was also in the Navy. Sherry Bates' brother was also in the Navy. This is weird, right? It's all coming together. Well, this murder took place. She was at the library studying one night. She leaves and gets shot up, where they found a poem handwritten underneath a motherfucking desk. And forensic analysis and handwriting analysis say that is the exact writings of the Zodiac, and they say that this is possibly the first killing that the Zodiac ever did. Well, this letter was initialed RH at the very bottom. RH, Richard Hoffman. Forensic analysis experts said that that letter was written by the Zodiac. So why is no one connecting this to my motherfucking grandpa? Somebody tell me why. It is said that my grandpa and Darlene, the one who got shot in Blue Rock Springs, had a romantic sexual relationship behind everybody's back, behind my grandma's back. Let's talk about his character. My grandpa's character, he was known in my family to be abusive, controlling, manipulating, and also unfaithful to my grandmother. Now we're going to sit here and pretend that my grandpa didn't do this shit. They also say that the crime scene was tampered with. Why did Darlene's family get a call that she was shot before the cops even knew about it? And that call was placed by a payphone outside of Vallejo Police Department. Someone tell me that. And my grandpa was first on scene to that shooting. And later it was revealed that that scene was tampered with. My grandpa showed up on scene within 5 minutes of the shooting being reported. He sent away the officers that responded with him. Who sends away responding officers on a possible double murder? And the crime scene was tampered with. It was later revealed. So you're still going to tell me my grandpa is not the Zodiac killer. What are we going to do about it? I don't fucking know. My grandpa's on vacation in a grave somewhere. But I'm convinced.
Canada's most evil serial killer is about to be released.
That, like now?
Tomorrow.
What the fuck?
His name is Robert Picton.
Yeah.
Robert William Picton, actually. They call him Willie. And his whole family, they weren't living in great conditions. The house was always a mess. It was always like smelly. He would get bullied when he went to school for smelling like a farm animal.
Okay, that's kind of...
And all the kids and people that have done interviews about Willie, they said, yo, we were terrible to the Pictons just because where they came from. They had one of the biggest pig farms in British Columbia. So if you were in the 80s and you're eating pork, it was probably from this farm. There was one time, this is still when he was a child, his mother was driving him and his brother. They accidentally ran over some kid. Anyways, the mother hops out and notices, oh shit, we just ran over this kid. And Willie and the other brother are like, oh, what do we do? You know what the mother does?
What? The Zodiac Killer was a killer in San Francisco. He killed like a bunch of like teenagers and shit, and they never caught him. That will kill a lot of people. And then he'll write like letters and send it to the police station and be like, I just killed another person. Try to catch me again. Like he'll say something.
Yeah, but
like
the letters weren't like actual like written letters with actual words. They were like
this
like a puzzle.
Yeah,
like a puzzle. And he was like say some crazy shit like, I'm killing people to have slaves in hell. I can enslave people for hell. Like. For his kingdom, some shit like that.
Yeah, that fool was tripping.
Homie was crazy.
And then, you know, here's the crazy part. They never caught him, ever. I think recently they found out, like, who it could be.
Oh, he confessed, no?
Something like...
On his deathbed.
I think I seen it on his bed. He confessed, like...
And then people are like, this fool really went to the movie theaters, watch his own movie about him killing people. I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy,
bro. He outlived, like...
I bet he's in the movie theater like, hey, I killed that person. Telling the person next to him.
The person next to him like, funny, like, nah, I really did. What the fuck you talking about?
Like in the movies, like, yeah, I hit the body in the ocean. He's like, that ain't true, trust. He's like, what the fuck?
Every clip you watch today is more than just a story. It's a chilling reminder that real life can be darker than fiction. If these crimes shook you, disturbed you, or left you with questions, don't stay silent. Hit that subscribe button to join a community that refuses to forget. Like this video to keep these stories alive. Share it to spread awareness, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Who do you think was really behind it, or what part shocked you most?